It's minicamp season, and today we're looking at the Atlanta Falcons and getting a good look at Michael Penix and Kirk Cousins as they're working together in drills. But before we dig in, though, you need to click that subscribe button right now. We're looking at practice, rookie camp, OTAs Minicamp, soon to be training camp, workouts in between, so you know what these players are doing behind the scenes. Your rookies, your quarterback battles, those guys you're drafting in fantasy football soon. It's all going to be right here. Click that button, stay in the know of your players, and we're looking at Michael Penix, a little Kirk Cousins today. 3 minutes, we'll loop this and keep talking ball on these players, but here we go. See Cousins right there, Penix right there with them. Cousins getting loose. Penix and Bijan Robinson talking some ball, talking some shop. Talking football, whatever it is. Getting ready to do a drill, looks like. Looks like they're in the middle of things. But Michael Penix leading the charge here going into 2026. Little pocket presence drill, I like that. I thought that was funny right when I first saw it. Him and Cousins going over things. And the one thing I heard on one of the tweets from the interviews is that Cousins is rooting for Penix. Cousins has his back. Cousins is helping him out, and that's huge. That's huge for your rookie. I mean, your second-year quarterback feels like a rookie. There we go to Bijan. There you go. I like Michael Penix. I think you're in a good situation here for him to take a step forward here in 2026, for him to develop, for him to produce. If he's developing, you should at least get a decent quarterback out of him to develop forward, to get better from there. A good platform is probably the best way to say it. Because look at what you got here. You got Drake London as your wide receiver 1. You got Pitts, a good tight end. You got Bijan Robinson. And then on top of that, you got Darnell Mooney. Ray McLeod did well last year. You just got so many weapons. Tyler Algier, a good RB2 for any team. He's an RB1 for a lot of teams. Former 1,000-yard rusher. You got Cousins in your back pocket to help you out, be your mentor. There's a lot of good things. As you're seeing him work through drills. Watch here. In and out. Feet's looking solid. Looking solid. And what we saw from one of the clips from last week is Penix is a little bit more mobile than advertised. Definitely not the Mike Vick. Definitely not that, Falcons fans. But a little bit more mobile than advertised. We're farther removed from those injuries years ago in college. Now, that doesn't sound like a big deal, which we were farther removed last year. But the farther you get away from them, speaking from my experiences, the better you get, the more you get back to being yourself. And now we're our second year in the offense. We're holding conversations with the veteran quarterback. That's a good thing to see. That's a good thing to see. That's an underrated concept there. Like, you're just not out there going through the motions or trying to do it all on your own, put it all on your back. Like, you got somebody there with you that's rooting for you, that's helping you out, that you got a relationship with. That is going to help you out big time. As we're going into year 2, a lot's on his shoulders. And there's a lot on his shoulders because everything's there. You either blast off the runway or you don't. That's the thing about this situation for Michael Penix. Looks like we're building a rapport. Looks like we got some leadership here out of Michael Penix. That's what we're seeing here. We're seeing him throw the rock. We're seeing him adapt. We got the pieces there. That's my take on Michael Penix. Since you got the pieces there, we should see something out of him this year. Like, I will give him some grace still, considering we're in year 2. We didn't start getting opportunity back into the season. I will still give him grace on that. But you should at least go into 2026 and feel good about your quarterback, whatever that means. As you should not be going into 2026 feeling doubtful. If you feel doubtful, it means it's over with. It means it's done. It means we're not developing fast enough. And unless we take a massive redirection, it's probably it. Because you're built. Like, you're not going to get on many other rosters built better than this. Like, you got Bijan and Drake London as your main targets. at tight end. I know a lot of people don't like Kyle Pitts due to fantasy football, but the targets and the ball is spread around this offense, and he's good at getting downfield. He's good at the seam. His ADOT's around 9, which is above average at the tight end spot. He's a good weapon for this offense. You got Darnell Mooney. You got Ray McCloud. Darnell Mooney had like a 20% target share. Ray McCloud had some games with some high-end targets, some high-end workload. It's just the ball was spread around. And you got Drake London there getting a good target share. And you got Bijan Robinson getting a lot of work out of the passing game. But for a quarterback, to be able to say that and talk up all those names and all those guys having their games where they're racking up targets, that's just huge. That's just huge. And the good things about him, like he was on draft notice. Like when he was at Indiana, like he was putting up some games there. He was looking good at Indiana. We transferred to Washington. There we put the stamp on things. You could say he was jacked up with wide receivers, Polk, McMillan, Romo Dunze. But you can also say, kind of like this situation here with the Falcons, that he can facilitate the football. He can move it to his studs. He can keep the chains moving. He can run an offense. And that says something there. That says something there. And we were in college for a good bit. We got experience. We got drafted in the first round. That was a surprise to everybody, especially the media. But in December, end of the season, right before the end of the playoffs, Michael Penix was considered a first-round quarterback. In the season, during college football, Michael Penix was considered a first-round quarterback. He was in the mock drafts. A lot of people talking him up as a future first-rounder. Then draft season hits, and it's not even the NFL. It's the media that pushes him down the board. And he gets drafted by the Falcons, and everybody's surprised. The main surprise is obviously what was invested at the quarterback position. You got Kirk already. You also got Michael Penix there. And you're looking at this with Kirk Cousins there. And you're like, you're good with Kirk Cousins. But contextually, and you put yourself in the Falcons' shoes, especially with their brass, you're looking at a team that had to live with Desmond Ridder, Matt Ryan being gone and just being in quarterback purgatory, and you got Kirk Cousins come back from an injury, the Achilles. You did not know what to expect, but you would give anything not to be in quarterback purgatory again, so you took another shot to Pinata. Now you think a sunk cost. You could have had another wide receiver there. You could have had like a Romo Dunze or something. You could have had something else. However, you took your shot. You got your second quarterback. And now we're in 2025. Kirk Cousins didn't hit. Now you're leaning on Michael Penix. Michael Penix, a first-round quarterback. You go back to prior to draft season, and everybody was calling him a first-rounder during the college football season. He can facilitate the football. He can run an offense. Now, my take, it's not like, hey, he's going to get this many yards or this. It's that if you're feeling somewhat good going into 2026, you're probably going to be all right because we're going to get better. And obviously, we had some down moments, but you also had some good moments as well. That's probably what you're going to be looking at with Michael Penix. That's probably it. It's going to be middle of the road. However, if you're feeling bad, you're feeling doubtful going into 2026, he was in and out of the lineup, it's probably not turning around. It's probably not turning around. We have too many good pieces in this offense. There's a chance. Never going to say never. You could always get better. But we're too experienced at the college level. We're in our second year, but it's hard to put together a team with this much talent and not hit. When you're going into year two, you're an experienced college quarterback. And when I say experienced, you're in there for multiple years, multiple teams. Consider a draft prospect with all those teams. It's just hard to see that. I don't expect him to take him deep into the playoffs or make the playoffs. I don't expect that. I'm not expecting that from him. I'm expecting him to have good moments, to feel good going into 2025. That's what I'm feeling. I feel like he's going to be capable of running the offense without getting pulled. I feel good about that. For fantasy football, for the cost, cheap quarterback. If you want to go later on quarterback and stack up running backs and wide receiver in seasonal leagues, He's got all the weapons there. He could be the sneaky play. Maybe even if you draft 2 quarterbacks, I would definitely be looking at him as my second guy, if not my first. I'd be looking at him as my first, really, and just be going cheap. Be going cheap at quarterback, looking to stream. That's something. If I'm looking at these young quarterbacks, it's McCaffrey and Penix. Year 2, and they got stud wide receivers, and they got offenses that you can run with. That's what I'm looking at. McCaffrey, pretty much a rookie. Penix, I mean, he does not have much from last year. Technically a rookie to me. Like, I do not have a full season under the belt or a most of season or anything like that. We're really going to see what he's made of this year. He's a cheap acquisition. Not as cheap in Dynasty. But when you're looking at him for Dynasty, you got a young quarterback with all the pieces around him. It's going to be hard to let him go in trades. You're going to be holding people over a barrel. You're going to get more clips coming out of training camp, and I expect the value to go up in training camp a little bit more. I expect the value to go up a little bit more. I expect that ADP chart to trend up a few slots up. Keep trade cut, ADP on all the sites now that composite those. I expect to go up from now to the start of the season a few spots. I expect that to go up. I expect it due to him getting a lot of clips in training camp. People realizing, hey, Drake London, Bijan, and the consensus, the average, the guys who are not in it every day like we are, to start valuing that more and him being held with a tighter grip. And when I mean higher value, I mean tighter grip, really. I think his value is not 100% all the way up there yet. But considering what could happen, and I look at this more of a meme coin stock, and I think you should have already gotten that throughout what I've been saying. Like, you're either going to get all or nothing out of this, and you're going to know very quickly. You're going to know by Thanksgiving whether this is going to be your guy long-term or not. You're going to have that feeling. And it may not be, hey, we're going into deep in the playoffs feeling. It may be like, hey, we've had some games. He's made some big plays. Man, if this happens, or if this guy didn't get hurt, man, who knows? Penix might be this dude. He might be that dog. If this didn't happen, I'm excited for 2026. You could be going with that, and if you have those feelings, you're probably going to be looking good for the long term. Probably is the key term there for those who don't read in between the lines. However, if you're going around Thanksgiving time, you're like, man, we got to start Penix again. I don't know what's going to happen. He's not accurate. It's not looking good. He can't run the offense. When's Cousins coming back? When's he going to be out there? I wish he was never out there. I wish it was all Cousins all the time. If you're acting like that, it's never coming back. It's never coming back. It's it. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. Too much talent on this team. Just too much talent on the team. Too much talent. So for Dynasty, if we're around Halloween time, you got those feelings. Halloween time, past it a little bit. Around Thanksgiving, you got those feelings, and there's still value on the board there. And Superflex ADP, you better make that move. Now, you may want to buy in if you feel like that's not going to happen. Or if he's starting to trend up and it's a little shaky, then you better get in as quick as you can. But I think he's going to be held on with a vice script. I don't think that's going to be possible, and I think the value is going to go up from here unless it crashes. It's going up or crash. Up or crash, and that's it. Up or crash. The crash will happen around Halloween time because there will be a grace period, maybe a little sooner than that, maybe late September if it happens. That's when the crash will happen. And all it takes is a few good moments for him to go off. But I think the trend lines are going to happen no matter what in training camp. Training camp, his value is going to go up there. His value is going to go up there a little bit. And it's going to be up there in a way that he's going to be held more with a vice grip. That's what we're seeing in fantasy football. That's what we're seeing with fantasy football with Michael Penix. That is the range of outcomes in a nutshell. And that's what you got to read the tea leaves on and play off of here in the next few months. That's what I'm looking at. But he's got the runway. He's got the platform to go off. He has that. He has everything here to go off. He has all the weapons. He has everything. He's got the veteran quarterback in his back pocket, cheering him on. He's got matchups here that can fuel his production. We saw that in the schedule. You got everything here to aid him, to fuel him. We just got to put it in motion here. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I want to hear about that. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on the way out. One thing for watching. Catch you on the next video.